When this thing basically broke down in my dad's driveway as soon as we got to Sacramento, I found this shop called Erotic, and I was like, that's a hilarious name. We should go to them. And it turns out they are just the coolest group of people. Ender and I are here today looking at the truck. Yeah, so when this thing basically broke down in my dad's driveway as soon as we got to Sacramento, I immediately started looking for places to service it that my friend Tony could take it to because I had to get on an airplane to Atlanta the next day. I found this shop called Erotic, and I was like, that's a hilarious name. We should go to them. And it turns out they are just the coolest group of people. They basically do all the fleet servicing for emergency vehicles, fire trucks, that sort of thing. And they've just been super helpful, like really good about, like they did a full diagnostic, gave me a worst case scenario quote, and then we basically went through it together, and they helped me figure out, like, this is stuff I can do, this is stuff they should do, and we sort of divided the things like that. But they've also really done the diagnostics in a logical way, and they're really invested in like helping me to save money as opposed to just getting money from me. I think everyone that sees this vehicle falls in love with it, which doesn't hurt at all. But yeah, just major shout out to Chris and Casey and Jim here at Erotic, because they've just made me feel like I haven't made the worst mistake of my life, which I've definitely felt at some moments for sure. They've done some work to the truck. They've taken some things apart, steam cleaned it to see where the leaks were coming from. Actually, kind of a good thing because it turns out that we had fewer leaks than we thought. But also all of that beautiful black paint just came right off because it was not even slightly pressure washed or sandblasted or anything before it was painted. So, you know, a few lessons learned on my end, but I'm gonna just go through a couple of the things that we found so far and then do a tour. So, hydraulic leak that is kind of leaking all over the place. See that here? I think that's from the suspension lower raise, but that was from when that got stuck. I think the day I picked it up, I think it like over pressurized the line. So gonna chat further about that, but as you can see, that's made a right mess. What else? The transfer case itself is leaking, does not have a pressure washer or an O-ring. That might be as simple as putting one in. And then up here, the drain pan mix pressure washer. Hi, Ender. Go to bed, buddy. And that is one of the power steering lines. So, you know, another essential component to making this vehicle work. But it's actually less than we thought. So the other thing that's leaking is when we swapped in those hubs, the eco hubs that we put in, unfortunately, they didn't use the proper gasket. So those have all been leaking since I picked up the truck. Just a few things, but let's just take a tour now of the truck itself. This is a 2003 Stewart & Stevenson Lmtv light military transport vehicle. It is pretty rad. There's a few things that weren't done super logically, like when this box was put in the bed, which I do appreciate. Unfortunately, the whole basket, the whole fold down bed system is still there, which means that in order to get into it, I have to fold down this thing, and folding that down covers the ladder. So you're gonna watch me do that, and it's gonna be fun. So another thing that's really awesome about this is opening the door. All right, let's go inside. Okay, so when we picked this up, we like immediately stopped by my friend Bill's place to get some milk crate shelves that he offered to me, which is super cool, but they literally haven't even made it out of here yet, of course. So inside, this is basically just a pre-built office communications box. So it has things like table, shelves, a hole where an air conditioner used to be that I should probably put in again, inverter, some like power things. What I noticed is certain wires have been cut, and I don't know if that's because all the wires have been cut or just some. So that's something I'm gonna have to figure out, preferably with the help of someone that understands wiring better than I do. But anyway, here is the inside of this box. Well, that's falling off, so it's not ideal. That is a automatic operation place selector. I have no idea what that does. Dehumidifier. That's pretty handy, actually. And then these are all just aluminum framing, but I think all these dividers I can take out if I want to. We just plug that air conditioner hole so that at least there's some venting, but it's like super hot in here. So I definitely need to put ventilation, whether it's Flettner vents. Someone commented on my last video with a really helpful suggestion to put all the venting in the sides and use the roof for solar. So I'm definitely going to explore that because yeah, I definitely have some grooves in the side that I could make use of more easily. So yeah, lots to think about and plan out. So we're in the middle of a heat wave in Sacramento and I'm already hot just out here, but going in there, instantly sweating. So note to self, it's not ready for sleeping in the summer in California just yet. So on the list of things that needed doing, air filter, all the filters pretty much, all the fluids. Nice touch Z. Glad hands in the front for towing it. I mean, this spare tire carrier is one of my favorite features. It's this like crazy, use full hydraulics just to get this down, of course, because I think one of these wheels and tires weighs like 350 pounds. I'm probably going to switch away from this like really unique military 20-inch tire size or 20-inch wheel size, 46-inch tire size, and go to something a little bit more common, because these tires are the military tires and they retail for like almost $3,000 a tire new, and people are selling over 10-year-old ones for like several $100s, and I don't think that's very ideal for a number of reasons. Like, old tires don't last that long. These tires in particular are not rated for the new highway speeds that I can achieve because of the eco hubs. So I have a ton of upgrade plans that I probably should have thought of before buying the vehicle, but I didn't, and that just is what it is, I guess. Truck has a bunch of hilarious features. It has this like level that reads the grade, and I didn't know a bubble level could break, but mine is. Super simple, just switch panel, which I think is pretty rad. I wonder if this was all khaki before and they changed it. So kind of a fun concept here. Everything's marked. So I should definitely get some spare relays and fuses, but that's pretty simple. In terms of figuring it out, all the diagnostics, it's all in one place. As you can see, there's lots of corrosion that I didn't anticipate. There's also a beautiful menu here of everything. So one thing that's really nice about the military is they do make it not quite idiot proof, but basically idiot proof. Like, everything is clearly labeled and explained and somewhat simple to operate, which is perfect for me because I know nothing about these things. One more thing that I didn't think of when I bought this vehicle was it's a military vehicle. No keys, no locks, no ignition, which means that I can't lose them, but I also can't lock it, which I think I'm gonna have to deal with. I put in a secret kill switch already, but I need to do something else as well. So I still have to do all the filters and everything like that, but I'm a little bit more optimistic than I was a couple of weeks ago when I picked this thing up and then immediately went, oh, this is possibly the worst decision I've ever made. It's definitely a strong decision, and definitely there's a lot more to do to make it livable than I was anticipating, but that's why people like me get into messes like I get into, because we underthink the hard parts and get really excited about, like, I want to be a pro race car driver, instead of how hard it is to do those things. So I'm actually really excited for this process, which is going to have to take place in between everything else that I'm doing, like driving cars at work or racing in FD, but I'm really excited long term for this build. I think it's going to be rad, although I guess I'm going to be unhoused for a little longer than I was originally planning.